Hello, Facebook Live world. This is Michelle Weens from Performance High, and today for our live video, I am going to be talking about how to, some bike helmet rules, how to properly fit one, why you want to wear one, and just a couple different things about your helmet. Since it is getting to be lovely springtime out there and the weather's changing and it's warmer outside and the sun's coming out, this tends to be the time of year when people start wanting to get out on their bikes. And one of my pet peeves, I have to say, is when I'm going down the road or on the greenbelt and I see a family coming down the trail and the kids all have helmets, the parents don't, and then the kids' helmets are all not properly fitting. So I have to say that really bugs the heck out of me. And I've actually once or twice actually stopped the family and talked to the parents in a very respectful way and said, hey, here's just a couple things you might want to think about on those helmets, and it'd be great if you wore one too. We never think it's going to happen to us, but it's super easy for the dog to get away from the owner, or the chipmunk to run across the road, or the car to turn right or left into us, and then we have an accident, and you really wish at that point in time that your head was protected. So we're going to talk about some helmet stuff today. So I'm going to get my hair back here so that we can start looking at some different things with regards to your helmet. So first off, why would you want to wear it? Well, it's the number one thing that you can do to protect your head, which is the most important part of your body, from damage when you're on a road bike, a mountain bike, and any other sort of moving thing like the electric scooters that I see all over town, and nobody wears helmets on those, which about drives me crazy too, but that's another day. So protection is your number one reason why you want to wear a helmet. And apparently, I was just looking up some statistics, a properly fitting helmet can prevent 85% of the head injuries that a cyclist might have. So it's the biggest thing you can do to keep yourself safe. And again, just because you're going down the greenbelt does not necessarily mean that you won't have an accident. There's plenty of times when that can happen. And at this time of the year, again, when people are starting to get out, not everybody knows all the rules of the greenbelt, and sometimes those kids and dogs can get away and run out in front of you, and then you are slamming on your brakes and doing an endo or running into a tree or something like that. So just make sure you're safe out there. So as far as safety standards go, there are a couple things. Most helmets these days that you buy in any shop, any store, are going to be safety standard approved, but just a couple things to look for. The SPSC sticker, which is a CPSC sticker, that's Consumer Product Safety Commission. That's a sticker that you'll find inside your helmet, and I have a couple helmets here that we're going to look at, which I will explain in just a minute, but I think I found the sticker on this one. Yes. So if I could bring this close, I don't know if we can see this, but there's a little sticker. Ooh, this is hard to do. Let's go like this. A little sticker right here, this one. And it says, complies with CPSC. Whoa, sorry about that, folks. I'm dropping my camera. Complies with CPSC standards. So, okay, now I'm having technical difficulties. Let's get this back together here. All right, I think we got it. Sweet. Okay, on we go. Anyway, that's the compliance sticker, and that's the one you want to look for. That will just tell you that it's been approved and safety standards have been done on it and all that kind of stuff. The second one, that's kind of a newer one that you might see, and this is kind of an interesting one. It's called MIPS, M-I-P-S, and this one right here has it right there. That's the sticker right there. That is a new safety thing, and it stands for Multi-Directional Impact Protection System. And basically what that does is it helps you reduce head injuries that are rotational in nature. So most helmets are designed when you have them on and you hit something direct on, like if you ran into a tree or something like that, That's one level of protection, but the rotational protection helps you if you are coming down head first onto the ground and there's a sliding component, there's a rotation impact component this way, and basically that MIPS system helps you protect your brain one more level from that particular rotational stuff. So you'll know it by the sticker, you'll also know it by the bright yellow insert that's inside the helmet. So that's another thing to look for. It just gives you one more layer of protection, which is kind of important. Okay, so two types of helmets, at least that's what I have here. There's probably others that I don't have in my possession, but I have two basic types. A road bike helmet. This is a really old one, so I need to replace this one. I've actually had this one way too long, but it's a road helmet like this, and it actually has a visor that comes on and off. And then there is the mountain bike helmet, which looks a little more like this. Okay, so the differences, the just basic differences in these two helmets are the road helmet has lots and lots of vents. This one actually doesn't have quite as much as you'll see now. The newer ones have quite a bit more venting, but all these little vents right here that give you flow through, that gives lots and lots of air to your head so that you can stay nice and cool. They're lightweight, they're more aerodynamic in nature, so they're designed to cut through the winds when you're going at faster speeds, obviously. And then typically they don't have a visor, so a lot of times they will not have a visor on them. And so those are a couple things that you can distinguish. And then the mountain bike helmets, of course, they have a very different design. These look a lot more like motorcycle helmets and a lot more like, I don't know, what other kinds of helmets, downhill helmets. But these have less venting, so you can see there's less holes there. And because, you're not going as fast, right? So I guess you don't necessarily need as much ventilation system. More coverage. The impacts on mountain biking can be with rocks and all of that kind of stuff. You can have impacts from different directions like side and back. So that's why these helmets have a little different shape. They come down a little further in the back and there's more side protection stuff for those types of impacts. And then they have a built-in visor too, so that's right there. You could wear your glasses or not, depending upon what you want to do. If you're on a mountain bike though, I'd highly recommend the glasses all the time. So those are the two basic ones I have here. Okay, how to fit and adjust them. First off, make sure you get the correct size. They come in all different sizes. It's based on your head width, so you measure around your head. And you can try them on in the store and you'll be able to tell pretty easily what size you need. I have a tiny head, so I run size small on just about all head gear that I would need. Sometimes even I have to go into the kids section, so it just kind of depends, but I have this little pin head. So anyway, I'm a small. Get the correct size to start with. That's really important because otherwise with all the adjustments, if you get it too big, you won't ever be able to get it to the right fit. There just won't be enough ways to make it snug enough. And so then that takes us to the three things you need to make sure that you do when you're fitting your helmet and adjusting all the straps. You want it low, you want it level, and you want it snug. Those are really important. So one of the things that you want to make sure that you do is when you take your helmet and you put it on, I'm going to undo my little straps here. You're going to take that helmet and you're going to put it on and you're going to make sure that it sits really nice and low right over the top of your eyes. So you might see it in your upper peripheral vision, especially if you have the visor on it. But if you don't have a visor, you might not even see the peripheral. It's just going to sit right on top of your eyes. That is really important because the part of your head that you're trying to protect is this front part. And I hate it when I see people with their helmets like this, where they're put way off to the back. Particularly on kids, you see it all the time. They're sitting way back here like this with their helmets, and it not only looks ridiculous, but it's doing nothing for your safety. So get that thing down low. So low and then level, that's the second thing. So I can't see it, but I'm hoping that if I took a side shot, it would be level this way and not angled up or down. Okay, so that's your second piece. And then snug is really important. So this thing needs to stay on, and if you crash, if you fall down, something hits your head, You need that thing to stay there. So all the adjustments become really important. And there's a bunch of adjustments on these helmets. First and foremost, you want to start with your little straps. And you want to adjust it so that the V strap sits just right underneath your ears. Everything's nice and tight. The chin strap, you should be able to get no more than one finger. I need to tighten mine up a little bit. It's just a little bit teeny bit loose. So one finger to fit into that little space right there. And basically, that helmet should not move more than an inch in any direction. So I actually need to tighten mine up a little bit. This is a new helmet for me, so it needs to just be pulled up just a little bit. There's another adjustment on the back that's called your retention system. And these little guys are dials a lot of times. They dial in, dial out, and they create the snugging. They snug up. And that helps actually tremendously to just sort of hold it in place so that it doesn't move around too much. But that is big. You just want that thing to sit down and just to be nice and snug on top of your head and not move around a bunch. Okay? Okay. When to replace your helmet? Well, that's interesting. If you have a crash, replace it immediately. Don't even think about trying to go anywhere with that helmet once you've had a crash in it. You can get, even if it doesn't look like there's anything wrong with the helmet, you can start to get hairline fractures into the safety stuff on the inside here, and you might not even see those, but the helmet is compromised once that happens. So if it's in a crash, or if it has a heavy impact, like you drop it off of a 2-story building for some reason, you need to replace that helmet. It will no longer be able to do its job on your head, okay? If you have a helmet that is old enough to have a styrofoam liner in it, those were kind of like back in the 70s, maybe the early 80s. If you have a helmet that's that old with styrofoam, it definitely needs to be replaced. The technology is much better now, and you can do a much better job of protecting your head if you get a new one. So go on out and find you one that you like and replace that darn thing. If it's faded, this is something that is a little bit hard to tell sometimes, because I mean, you know, how do you really know if a helmet's faded? I guess I kind of go by the years. If it's been like 5, 6, 7 years, it's probably about time to change that helmet too, just because, again, you know, technology changes. You get much better technology with these new helmets, which is big on safety. And then also UV light can do some degradation to the outer shell. And of course, these things sit in the sun a lot, so it's a good idea to kind of replace that on a pretty regular basis. And the last little tip is do not ever use a used helmet, or buy a used helmet. So if you're going to the resale places, awesome for purchasing things like bikes and clothing and shoes and all that kind of stuff, but do not ever purchase a helmet that you don't know the history of. You have no idea how many crashes that helmet's been in, or what the care of that helmet was like, and so you don't want the single number one most important piece of your equipment to have a history that you don't know about. So make sure that you buy your own helmets, buy them new. Okay, so we went over reasons to wear one, which should be obvious. We went over some safety standards. We talked about road versus mountain bike. We talked about how to adjust them and fit them, and then when to replace them. So hopefully, folks, that gives you some information to get out there in a safe manner. And make sure, hey, John, coming in right at the end. Sorry, I'm just wrapping up. You can take a look at the whole thing if you're interested. But hopefully that gives you some information to make sure that you're safe, and absolutely that your kids are safe if you're headed out on the road, trails, or dirt. Have a great day, folks. If you feel like this video would help anyone that you know, please share it with them. Like and follow Performance High. We have a YouTube channel, we have Instagram, and obviously Facebook. And I will be back next week with another live. Have a great day, and we'll see you out on the trails. Bye.